Hey everybody, Ryan here at etrailer.com. Today on our 2018 Toyota Sienna, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the etrailer.com Class 3 2-inch trailer hitch receiver. And what I really like about this hitch, unlike some of the other ones out there, is that it's going to be completely hidden and help maintain that clean factory look. Now, since our hitch is concealed and sits up behind our bumper, it's also going to give us another inch or two of ground clearance. And that extra clearance is going to be beneficial when we're going up and down those steep driveways or hills. Another thing I really like is the hitch's finish. It's going to be a matte black carbide finish, which is going to be scratch resistant, look good, and blend into the back of our van. Our hitch is going to have a 2-inch by 2-inch receiver tube opening and a reinforced collar for extra strength. That's going to have the standard 5/8 size pinhole. Now keep in mind, a pin and clip does not come included, but if you need one, you can find it here at eTrailer. It's going to have loop style safety chain openings, which are going to give us plenty of room to use just about any size hook. Now, many of our Sienna customers use their vans for a little bit of everything. So whether you plan on doing some towing, using your hitch for a bike rack or cargo carrier, this is going to work great. It's going to free up some space in the inside of your van. Our hitch is going to have some pretty impressive weight capacities. As far as the maximum gross tongue weight rating goes, it's going to be 525 pounds, the amount of weight pushing down on our hitch. So that's going to be plenty of capacity to use just about any bike rack or cargo carrier you want. Now, when it comes to the maximum gross trailer weight rating, that's going to be 3,500 pounds, the amount of weight pulling on our hitch. So that's the weight of your trailer plus anything you might have on it. Now, I do want to point out, it is always a good idea to check with your Toyota's owner's manual to make sure your van can pull that much weight. Now, if you do plan on doing a little bit of towing, I'd recommend some trailer wiring. That way your lights work when you're going down the road, you'll be safe and legal. Now I'm going to give you a couple of measurements. These are going to help you when deciding which hitch mounted accessories to get. From the ground to the top inside edge of the receiver tube opening, it's going to be about 12.5 inches. You're going to use that to figure out if you need to get a ball mount with either a drop or a rise. From the center of the hitch pin hole to the edge of our rear bumper, that's about 4 inches. You're going to use that measurement to figure out if any folding accessories you might have can be stored in the upright position without hitting our back bumper. Now, some of our customers had some issues during the installation, but I'll show you some tips and tricks along the way to make it a lot easier. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and do it together now. To begin our installation, we're going to need to remove our underbody panel. Now, what we're going to take out first is a handful of white push pin fasteners. To get these removed, we're just going to take a small flathead screwdriver and get underneath the head of it and work it down, get underneath the base and pull it out completely. There's going to be a total of 8 of these white push pin fasteners. Now we're going to have a total of 4 of these plastic Phillips head style twist nuts. And so we'll just loosen all these up. They won't fall down or anything like that. You just want to give them a few turns to the left to help unseat them. And now we're going to have 5 10mm bolts we're going to have to take out here at the edge of the bumper. Now keep in mind, when you remove all these, our splash guard will no longer be supported, so you're going to want to use your hand, that way it doesn't fall on top of you. Now if it doesn't drop down right away, you may have to come back with your Phillips head and on these twist knobs, kind of just give light pressure pulling down on the splash guard and unseat these a little more. Once we have it off, we can set it over to the side. Now we're going to need to lower our exhaust, but before we do that, I'm going to use a support strap to run from one side to the other. That way we have a little bit of control on how fast our exhaust comes down. Now we're going to have a rubber isolator hanger here a little bit before the end of our tailpipe, and that's what we're going to have to remove. Now I went ahead and sprayed it down with some soapy water to make it a little easier, or you can use some general purpose lubricant to do the same thing. We'll take a pry bar and work that rubber portion of the hanger off the tailpipe. Now on our frame rail, we're going to have 3 stickers and 1 rubber plug that we're going to have to take off. To get the plug, just take a flathead and just pop it out. And as far as the stickers go, just use a razor or your fingernail. Just be really careful and peel those off. Now the other side is set up the same way, so we're going to repeat that process over there. With our stickers out of the way, I'm going to use a tube brush to clean out the threads and our weld nuts. Now I went ahead and sprayed them down with some penetrating oil just to help clean them out. And keep in mind, from this point on, anything we do to one side, we're going to do to the other. And our attachment points are going to be 3 factory weld nuts, here, here, and here. It'll be the same on the other side. Now instead of removing our entire rear fascia, we found a trick that'll save us a ton of time and allow us to easily sneak our hitch into place. All we have to do is bend these 2 tabs down flat. To do that, I'm just going to get a pair of pliers and carefully bend it down like that. Now with an extra set of hands, we can put our hitch into place. Going to want to go over the exhaust and kind of raise that hitch behind our bumper. And just pull these tabs behind it. Then once we have it up against our frame rail, we can secure it using a bolt and a conical tooth washer. Now you want to make sure that the teeth on the washer are facing up towards the hitch. It's a good idea to get one started on each side. That way the hitch will support itself while we work on the rest of them. With all of our hardware in place, now we can go ahead and tighten them down. Now using a torque wrench, we can tighten everything down to the proper specification, which you can find in your instructions. Now with the hitch in place and torque down, don't forget to push your tabs back up. Now we're going to trim our underbody panel according to the diagram in our instructions. I went ahead and marked where I'm going to cut here. Now this is pretty thin plastic, and I'm going to use a Dremel tool to cut it. However, you can use a utility knife or even a pair of snips. Before we put our panel up, don't forget to raise your exhaust back into position. Now we can raise our underbody panel back into position and re-secure it using the same fasteners. With everything in place, we can now remove our support strap. And that'll do it for our look at and our installation of the etrailer.com Class 3 2-inch trailer hitch receiver on our 2018 Toyota Sienna.